I hired divers to find me the two best custom maps World of War has to offer, Hanoi and Dead Ship, to answer one burning question. Can these old, dusty custom maps hold up to over an entire generation of zombie games? Or do they deserve to be forgotten forever? But before we dive in, if you haven't watched part 1, watch part 1 immediately. You'll need the knowledge gained from that video to proceed any further.
Dangerous.
Hazardous.
Once you've finished part 1, make sure to also watch this intro. Last time on 3 Forgotten Zombie Maps, we examined 2 World of War custom maps I considered polar opposites of each other, the Bedroom and Devastation. And while that was certainly an unique experience, I spent so much time carefully analyzing those maps that I conveniently ran out of time to cover the third map, Hanoi. Hanoi holds a certain special connection to me that none of the previous maps I've covered have. You see, before I was the world famous Kaisernut, I was a young and abrasive walnut who, instead of locking in on pandemic-era Warzone, preferred to spend his valuable early teenage years playing old World of War custom maps instead. I'm talking Das Herrenhaus.
I've always wanted to have a Hitler boss in custom zombie.
Oil Rig.
Oh, what just happened?
Leviathan, and Hanoi. This was aggravating to me at the time because I really wanted to play all of those brand new shiny BO3 custom maps. But due to my less than desirable PC, I had to settle for what I could run. This, however, was a blessing in disguise because it unknowingly gave me the opportunity to turn back the clock and experience a generation of zombies that I thought already had passed me by. While my other friends spent their weekends playing Cheese Cube, I can't jump up! Poop of the Dead,
oh no,
in Jake's house, I was locking in on Hanoi high rounds while listening to some questionable video essays. Is Jason Blundell worse than Hitler? I don't know. But make sure to hit the bell button. No, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell. All right, part 1, Ancient Mesopotamia. All of this to say, some zombie modders still make maps the old-fashioned way. Hanoi was published on July 11, 2016 to the UGX Zombies forum. And while 2016 isn't exactly prime classic zombies for most people, consider the following. 2016 is 10 years ago.
I'm ready!
Black Ops 3 was the most recent zombies game, and World of War had only come out about 8 years beforehand. Hanoi definitely falls into the definitive latter half of World of War's modding lifespan, and incorporates ideas that could have only come from that general period of zombies. As per the name, Hanoi is a reimagined zombies version of the classic BO1 multiplayer map with the same name, which is set in the great, prosperous country of Vietnam during the middle of a zombie apocalypse. Obviously. Loading into Hanoi, you'll immediately notice just how yellow everything is.
oh that's real.
Yellow. The ground is yellow, the buildings are yellow, the sky is mostly yellow. It's a very yellowy map, which doesn't really mean anything, but it does set it apart from other custom maps, lighting wise. After gathering enough points in probably the smallest World of War starting room I've ever seen, we peer out from this back alley into a crowded and busy street that's cut off on both sides by what appear to be US military checkpoints. With 2 available paths on each side of the road, it doesn't really matter which route you take, but I always end up choosing the left. probably because it offers immediate access to the box in this gallows courtyard area that not only forms the center of Hanoi, but is central to acquiring the map's unique wonder weapon and also completing its main Easter egg. We'll get to that in detail soon. Our main objective should be finding and turning on power. We won't have to go far if we choose the right path, but from this center point at the gallows, we again have multiple there's many doors to choose from. To get the power the quickest, we'll choose this metallic prison door, passing through whatever this room is before reaching the outer perimeter of this equally prison-like compound. It's not immediately clear what this place is supposed to be, but with the presence of American military vehicles in and around the walls of this place, it could be some kind of repurposed Vietnamese prison camp. We'll discover more evidence later. Let's just find power. Clearing this big rusted gate out of the way, we again have multiple optional doors. Ascending the stairs to the second story door, we slowly open it to find a teleporter pad on the floor and a nearby power switch. You can actually turn power off again, which from my understanding does absolutely nothing, but it's cool. With that task completed, our next objective is to find and link the teleporter pad here to its corresponding teleporter, which is probably somewhere nearby. We open up the rusty double doors to the left, revealing an ominous metal staircase descending into a dark and damp underground facility, where they're probably doing stuff like this. Complete with dozens of glowing terminals, test tube things, and oh my god, they were keeping dead people here? Yeah, this map is fucked up. Wandering around this strange facility, we can find several interesting things that point to a more disturbing setting than I ever could have imagined. There's a dude in a test tube here, a bunch of body bags stacked in this random corner, German wonder weapons, and a group 935 symbol on the wall. Combine all of these things together, close your eyes, and imagine some of the terrible things that could have happened down here. You heard something? No, you didn't. If you remember my CeeLo video, you might remember me talking about Operation Paperclip, a secret US operation that gathered German scientists in their research and used them for their own twisted benefit. That's an incredibly brief summary, but I have to believe that these details were intentional. With the amount of US military vehicles just sitting around Hanoi, could this be a secret Group 935 base under US control? Moving on, to open this teleporter pad in the middle, we have to activate 4 separate terminals spread across the facility. Once that's done, the circular barrier here disappears, and we're able to link the pad to its surface counterpart while also picking up this strange blue rock. These rocks are essential for the map's main quest, and also for getting this. Once we've linked this bottom pad with the one up top, we can come back down here to start it up. Which brings us to the map's Pack-a-Punch room, which, like Kino, is secluded away in this little area above the central gallows dragon statue courtyard area, which, fun fact, you can actually see from below. That's pretty cool. It's a window. No shit. You're gonna see through. Oh my god. I'm so. This room also contains a locked door, which requires a findable key to open up. This can be found in 3 unique locations. Once we get the key, unlocking this door lets us cop another blue rock before teleporting back to the playable area. I've realized now that I'm basically just doing an Easter egg walkthrough of Hanoi, but I will actually be reviewing the map afterwards, so if this section doesn't particularly interest you, go to this timestamp to skip to the map review. Walking back the way we came, you might notice a blue rock wedged into this bottom hole in the wall, blocked by some annoying barbed wire. Tossing a nade in there annihilates the wire, and now we've copped 3 out of 5 blue rocks required. I'm just gonna breeze through getting the last 2 real quick. The 4th rock is locked behind a prison door in this peculiar little cell block building on the right. To open it up, we need to activate 3 panels spread across the map.
Hooray!
We'll need to come back here later, but once we've snatched this fourth rock, it's time to walk back into the courtyard and interact with this blue rock that's now mysteriously appeared in this dragon's mouth. Doing so, teleports us into a small room blocked off by a wall of impassable lightning. The fifth and final meteor is here, but to extract with the rock alive, we have to survive 2 to 3 minutes of endless zombies. So make sure you brought a good gun. Once the lightning finally disappears and we're free to walk out, this big well of water sitting outside the power room will no longer have blue rocks just floating on the surface. Interacting with it will, grant us the power of Palpatine, which is basically just a reskinned Wonderwaff. It's cool though. Not as cool as the upgraded version though, which we attain by temporarily sacrificing our newfound powers so we can snatch 3 floating books spread across the map.
Hooray!
Now that I think about it, this whole Easter egg is just grabbing random stuff across the map. But then again, I'd rather do this than the rock step. Anyway, after we grab the books, we interact again with the dragon statue, and now we have an even more powerful hand lightning. It's good that we have this, because the final real step of the Easter egg is shocking 3 panels across the map.
Excuse me?
Hooray!
Listen, I said it would be an Easter egg walkthrough. I did not say it would be an amazing Easter egg, but at least shocking stuff is fun.
Raining lead on you!
Once this final step is completed, a large steel door will descend near this carriage of body bags. A teleporter is here, but it has to charge. Wait a couple rounds killing zombies and it'll finish charging, allowing us to teleport away and complete the map, thus finishing Hanoi's main Easter egg. Not exactly thrilling stuff, I admit, but for such a cherished childhood map of mine, I couldn't just not cover the Easter egg. Where would the watch hours come from? So what does this all mean? I don't really know. As I theorized earlier, this whole prison compound structure seems to be some kind of Group 935 base, which was co-opted or taken over by the US, probably during the Vietnam War. The presence of many body bags across the map suggests that they were not there for a wholesome reason. And with the blue rocks most likely being some kind of element 115, it doesn't take much imagination to envision what they were doing to the people here. That said, it's time to move on to the actual review before we finally finish up with this first whole video, I guess, and move on to our second bonus map. God knows this video does not need to be any longer. I suppose I could be blinded by nostalgia when I say this. Like I said at the beginning, Hanoi is a map that I hold fairly close to me, and I have very fond memories of playing it through the pandemic and early 2020s in general, but I honestly think Hanoi is a pretty solid contender for most underrated custom map of all time. Now, on the surface, there isn't anything really that crazy that makes Hanoi pop out as a map. The setting isn't crazy or insanely unique. The map layout itself is fairly standard, if not a little unorthodox. The gun selection isn't anything out of this world.
I blow you to million pieces!
What?
And the Easter egg can be easily brisked to completion if you know what you're doing. So what gives? Well, in my opinion, Hanoi isn't made great by its individual parts, but by how those parts perfectly fit together to create an amazing classic zombies experience. The guns perfectly match the setting, which perfectly matches the layout, and mostly matches the Easter egg, and everything about Hanoi just feels exceptionally polished. Even just looking at the set pieces, you can tell that there is a lot of intention with the placement of these props in a very similar fashion to how Cherrick would flesh out maps like Kino and Ascension with all kinds of knickknacks and decals. There is a lot of neatly placed map clutter and cool world building details that would fit right in with Black Ops 1 if this were hypothetically an official map. And really, I don't think it's that far off. Just touching on gun selection again, every gun on this map just feels really powerful and fun to use, with ball knowledge inclusions like the Stoner 63, AK-47, and Enfield being especially meaty additions to the base BO1 arsenal, which to my knowledge is just ported from Black Ops 1 directly. But setting that aside, the whole map flows really well gameplay wise, and with such minimal time required to set up with everything being so close by, it's a great map to play while listening to music or a questionable video essay. That doesn't mean I think it's perfect though. Even if it matches with the setting, the map's very washed out, simple color palette of yellow, green, and white is just not super pretty. And while World at War's color palette and whole art style is pretty washed out to begin with, I don't think that excuses how bland this map is color-wise. And mentioning the lighting in some areas like the facility is also basically non-existent. This is pretty run-of-the-mill for custom maps though, so I don't think it's unexpected. Outside of this complaint, not a whole lot else really comes to mind. It doesn't take very long at all to get set up, with box and power being so close to spawn, and Hanoi is definitely not a hard map to survive on. This gallows platform makes training so easy, and with the wonder weapon doing infinite damage, you don't have to worry about being outscaled by zombie health anytime soon. So even if it's not perfect, Hanoi is a hidden gem of a map that I really think every fan of classic zombies should play if they're able to. It takes less than an hour to finish, and I can't see any reason why a real zombies fan would regret doing so. So all things considered, throwing my personal bias out like litter, I would say Hanoi is a strong 4.5 Kaiser nuts out of 5. Have you been enjoying the video so far? No? Okay, that's fine. Bowman, let's see how he's holding up.
You fucking son of a bitch!
Basically, what I'm trying to say is these videos take a very long time to make, so it would absolutely make my day if you smashed that Kaiser Nut button and became a tax-paying citizen of the Kaiser Nut Empire. Hyping the video also does wonders because it lets other people know what an underrated gem this channel is. If you also want to see sneak peeks at upcoming videos and chat with millions of other Kaiser Nutters, please consider also joining the Kaiser Nut Empire Discord server. I actually posted a teaser of this video way before you're watching it now. That's it for the call to action. Now it's time to answer the 7 C's and indulge in the greatness that is Dead Ship. If you haven't heard of Dead Ship until now, then you probably haven't watched Epic Pirate Finale by Mr. Dalek JD.
We got the grand prize of an extra perk slot. Yes. Oh my god, that was awesome. I legitimately enjoyed playing that. That was cool. And the little crawler didn't really affect me in any way. There he is, just, you know, chilling, crawling as you do. Goodbye, Mr. Crawler. I will see you never. You're gone for good, my friend. Right.
Why did he do that, bro? Released by ZCTX Chaos X in 2014, Dead Ship is a map that takes place entirely within the confines of a flying Dutchman-ass pirate ship filled to the brim with the dead, hence the name. There's quite a lot to unpack of this map, and I mean a lot. The guns, the perks, the guns. Why does the ray gun Mark II make crawlers? The C4. Why then not? The sword, the zombie spawns, or lack of spawns. I kind of hate this map.
Not even close, freak bag!
I do like. There's no way. Holy shit! And the guns are already what the fuck is that health regen? I don't know why I was tap firing it. What the fuck? Dude, the hugging shit blows my mind, bro. That is a lie. I actually really like this map, but there is a lot of annoying bullshit in Dead Ship, which in Kaisernet terminology means anything that even slightly challenges me. But enough spoilers. Let's just get to breaking the map down. Loading into Dead Ship, you'll immediately notice that the guns and perks, unlike most custom map, you'll immediately notice you quitting the game. The zombies don't really spawn on this map. They just appear around you whenever they please. This makes training or looping them basically impossible. To make things worse, on an unrelated note, you do not get points from shooting zombies, only from killing them. Everything on the map costs way less because of this, but early on, this makes buying stuff like wall guns much more of a risky investment than it'd otherwise be. Like I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, perk and wall guns on Dead Ship come in the form of holographic pods rather than chalk outlines or machines, which is kind of weird for a map set presumably in the Age of Pirates, but isn't really that important either way. What is important are these map pieces. These are really special, so we need to collect them as we go, preferably after acquiring something better than the starting pistol. Oh my god. We could buy this cheap ass Beretta, or we could shoot this skeleton sitting on top of the crow's nest here to get a free M1 carbine, which is actually goated for getting points. Now that we have a good gun and a map piece, we can buy our way off the poop deck and move onto the ship's real deck, much more suited for killing zombies in the cramped spawn room. Down here, with our points being so limited, we have two main choices: enter the captain's quarters or descend down into the ship's hull. Kicking down the door into the captain's quarters reveals, well, I guess it's kind of cozy. He's got a bed, a vending machine, a gramophone, and a table where we can store our map pieces. This skeleton is presumably the captain, since he offers us the captain's curse for 500 points, which is cataracts, I guess. I don't know what this does. But anyway, aside from the map table, this room isn't that important. The real treasure is down in the hull, and I ain't talking about no movie tickets. Clearing the barrels and shit out of the way, we enter the hull and appreciate all of the cannons lining this battle hall. On the furthest end of the ship below the bow, there's... damn. These interactable skeletons sitting around will actually drop you pieces of lore.
Beloved ship, the Ender Pearl with pride. Named after...
But the only way you can really hear them is by turning up the SFX volume to max, and that is just not good for you. Holy shit, that is so fucking loud. No, I don't care about it that much. I also wasn't patient enough to listen anyway, but it's a pretty cool detail. While we're down here, let's go ahead and turn on power by buying this door, or in this case, fire up the furnace. Whoa, it actually lights up, bro. That's crazy. This is pretty cool. At the end of the split hall here is this pirate barracks room with a box, a new perk, and buyable wallets. Wait, wallets? On Dead Ship, you have a limit on your points that starts with 1,000, but can be pushed to 2,000, 3,000, and eventually 5,000 by emptying a full wall to increase the limit. This is the slow progression and make sure you can't just buy everything by round 10, but with a good gun out of the box, it takes almost no time to max your wallet. With the captain's quarters and hull opened up, we've essentially opened up the entire map. Almost. Once we collect the remaining map shards, there it is.
Excuse me?
We can return to the table and place all of them to unlock Pack-a-Punch, which on this map is far different. Instead of packing your gun to improve its stats or have more ammo, Pack-a-Punching on this map can morph your gun entirely from single-shot sniper to full auto LMG and everything in between. Well, that's not entirely true. Some guns, like the Ray Gun Mark II, only have one packed variant, but for the vast majority of guns on Dead Ship, you can essentially completely change your weapon on a whim if you have enough money. On the flip side, however, if you have a variant that you prefer vastly over others, you'll likely be forced to use another if you want to pack for more ammo, which on later rounds will become mandatory with the amount of ammo it takes to kill. Like this commenter told me, Dead Ship's Pack-a-Punch is its defining characteristic and is what really makes it stand out above basically every other custom map I played, including Hanoi. Next to the Pack-a-Punch in this corner balcony area is an optional shooting gallery minigame that tasks you with shooting targets as quickly and accurately as possible within a set time. If you pass 3,000 points, you get the grand prize of a free perk slot. If you win too hard, the game crashes. Wow. The game crashed. You can play this every round to get more rewards, like a random Pack-a-Punch gun, money, and an opened game end. Huh? Yeah, instead of a multi-step Easter egg like Hanoi, to get Dead Ship's ending, you need to play a shooting gallery minigame a few times and pay 5,000 points. It's more fun and creative than a straight-up Bible ending, at least. With the Pack-a-Punch area unlocked, we finished up opening Dead Ship, and from this point on, you're just surviving until you die or unlock the ending. It is a pretty small map, but it utilizes its space very well, especially compared to a map like Devastation. Now that I finished walking you through what an average playthrough of Dead Ship looks like, it's time to answer the fateful question. Is it good? Yeah, it's pretty good. It's actually great! Occasionally. I threw the monkey bomb! What the fuck?! What was that?! Like Hanoi, Dead Ship is a map that does not take much of your time to get into. You can open the whole playable area in like 3 doors, and while it might take a lot of points to roll for a gun that isn't dog shit. Oh, what is this gun selection? Every gun on this map is just terrible. You'll eventually be rewarded for your efforts with guns like these, which are insanely fun to use when they're usable. The main gimmick of Dead Ship is its Pack-a-Punch, which for a World of War map is insanely innovative, but ultimately suffers due to the zombies' insane health scaling. On round 30 onward, it takes an entire stockpile of not just Ray Gun Mark II ammo, but another double-packed gun to clear one horde of zombies. Granted, I haven't gone through packing every gun on the map to see which ones were the best, and this is basically just a skill issue, but on a map as tight-knit as Dead Ship, which lacks any traps or any reliable training spots, I genuinely do not know what the high round strat on Dead Ship looks like. Alright, Dead Ship, Road to Round 100 Ultimate Challenge, begin. What the fuck?! No. We're gonna go ahead and do slash round 100 skip and give me my life back. Setting my whining aside, Dead Ship is such a masterful map in so many small but significant ways. Whether it's a triumphant pirate music literally blaring into your ears, lore dropping skeletons,
the Ender Pearl with pride, named after its ability to
or pirate themed weapon. It's almost like the old World of War was demolished to make way for an awesome zombie-killing pirate experience. Or, in Mr. Dalek JD's words, an epic pirate finale. The added gameplay changes like the wallet system, the new point system, the perk slot system, dude, oh my god, and added round breaks help Dead Ship stand out as a map without adding a bunch of insane bullshit like gigantic boss fights, or kill streaks, or spaceships. Wait, that actually is kind of cool. You know, being honest, I always kind of wanted a Hitler boss in custom zombies.
What just happened?
Basically, Dead Ship is able to complicate and expand the World of War experience in its own unique way without diluting it to oblivion, and that, to me, makes it one of the best custom maps I've ever played. I could go on and on about this map's various gameplay quirks and oddities, but this video's gone on long enough, and I'd just be making the same point over and over again for no reason. So, taking everything I've said into consideration, throwing out my bias without hesitation, I'd give Dead Ship another 4.5 Kaiser Nuts out of 5. So at the end of it all, do these maps deserve to be remembered? I would say absolutely. Hanoi and Deadship, while they couldn't be farther apart gameplay-wise, are toe-to-toe in quality. Hanoi offers a more casual, laid-back experience that would fit in right alongside maps like Kino and Ascension, while Deadship is a very fast-paced, punishing, kind of bullshit, I don't know why I was tap firing it. What the fuck? Dopamine mine of a map. If I manage to convince you of these maps' superb quality, then please, by all means, check them out in the description below. World of War is a goldmine of supremely underrated custom zombie maps, and you really are missing out by not giving them a try. It might seem like a bit of a hassle to manually install maps, but the UGX map manager itself includes over a dozen amazing maps, some of which, like Silo and Cabin, I've made videos on. Speaking of videos, if you enjoyed this video, then please consider supporting the channel by smashing that Kaijuna button to keep yourself up to date on all of my newest uploads. With the channel passing half 1,000 subs, I do have memberships now. Obviously, I'm not going to start paywalling all my shit, but by joining, you can get these emojis, a cool role, shoutouts, and the knowledge and peace of mind that you're helping grow the channel even further. But please don't feel obligated or any kind of pressure. Alright, I don't want to do a super long outro for this, so thank you for watching. Love y'all. See you next time. Bye. Oh, hey, you're finally awake. That video was long, wasn't it? Put you right to sleep. I would have been offended, but it looked like you needed the rest anyway. Well, luckily for you, there's a lot more where that came from. If you're interested in more content just like this video, I kept this little nice surprise just for you. It's a new video. Or, it's old, but it's new for you. And if you're interested in seeing more content just like this, please head over to my profile page and smash that Kaiser Nut button. As always, thank you for making it this far, Kaiser Nutters. Now then, get back to sleep. I command you to.
What just happened?